Coming to you from Hilbert College, it's the podcast Runnin' Wild. My name is Gabriel. Spencer unfortunately will be out this week. He has a little bit of Thanksgiving turkey hangover, but that's okay. I'm here in studio and I'll be joined by the football crew in a little bit. I want to start off this week by discussing the plane crash that had the team Chapecoense, a Brazilian soccer team. About 71 people died. One of the players, a week before he died, found out that he would be a father. It's very sad. But this team gives a little hope and inspiration. In 2009, they were in the 4th division of soccer, and since then they've been promoted to the top flight. A video surfaced showing how happy, how joyful they were as a team, playing the game that they loved. That's how the players, the 3 remaining that survived, and their families of the ones that perished in the plane crash, I think that's how they'll want to be remembered as. I feel sorry for all the victims, for all the families right now, and especially for the son or daughter who'll never get to know his or her father. It's a sad day in the world of soccer. But I hope that the story and the legacy of the Chapecoense team will live on. I'm going to have a brief moment of silence for the victims of and the families of that plane crash. Thank you. There were other events that occurred over this past Thanksgiving. For one, Syracuse football lost to Pittsburgh 61-76. Let me repeat that again. In a football game, Syracuse lost 61-76. You know, when I first heard that scoreline, my first thoughts were, wow, ACC basketball has started early this year. And now, to talk some pro football, let's bring in the NFL crew. Joining us in studio to talk about football, it's Maloney and Pelly. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. How about you, Gabe?
I feel good. Were you guys at the Bills game?
I was
stuck at work.
Nice. How was it, Pelly?
Honestly, I was scared the entire game. I was scared.
Uh-huh.
It's Jacksonville. I mean, they're called the best 2-win team in the NFL, but still, Bills should not have won by that little.
Right. Was it nervous throughout the stadium the whole time?
You could say it was every time the Bills were on offense, it was pretty quiet. Everybody was cringing.
You know, just like a normal home game, right?
Not really. No.
Oh. Yeah, they're the best 2-9 team that's out there. But you're winning the Super Bowl. Don't worry about it. Maloney, what were your thoughts on the game?
I didn't get to see much of it, Gabe, but I saw the 3 targets to Sammy Watkins. He looked like he's coming back, starting to be healthy. I'm hoping that they put him more into the game plan now towards the end of the season. I feel like we're going to need him, but again, it's getting colder around Buffalo. Throwing the ball is not going to be too much of a thing here in the next month if it snows. So we got to stay strong with the Shady McCoy running tactic.
Right, he did have a good game for you guys. Let's move on to the Thanksgiving game that I watched, Cowboys versus the Redskins. What'd you guys think of that game?
Easily the best game of Thanksgiving I've watched probably in the last 5 years.
That's fair.
I'm going to have to agree. I got to say I'm sorry to Kirk Cousins, man. It's a bad day when you go out there and throw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and you still lose to a quarterback that only had 190 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
That's rough. I mean, I don't really know what else he could have done. But it's definitely a hard loss for the Redskins here.
Right. Dak Prescott, he had a solid game. He actually didn't have a good game. Washington, time possession, they had about 7 more minutes than the Cowboys did. You could say, well, the Cowboys outran the Redskins, and they did, but they only ran for 163 yards. For me, this was all about Dallas just got an early lead, and they held on. Kirk Cousins, he played well. And it's interesting now how the NFC East is developing. We have Cowboys up top. Giants are quietly having a good season. They're now at 8-3. Redskins 6-4. Eagles at 5-6. If I'm an Eagles fan right now, I'm really angry because any other year in the NFC least, 5-6, you get 2 more wins, you're in the playoffs with that.
That's the top of the division for them last year.
Right, exactly. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm definitely disappointed. Have we gone from the NFC NFC least to NFC beast.
Definitely the best division in football right now. Every team's at least decent at best, and it's always going to be a tough game no matter what team you play out of that division.
I'd have to agree completely. There's no team that you're seeing on your schedule and you're saying it's a for sure win. Every team in this division is a matchup. No one's a gimme.
How about the Giants? No one's really talking about them, but they might still sneak into the playoffs. What do you think about their season so far?
I looked at a lot at them lately, and they have 3 losses right now, and all 3 of them were early on in the season to the Redskins, Vikings when they were rolling,
Right.
and the Packers before they started their mediocre season.
Right.
So the Giants, I have them going 10-6, maybe 11-5.
Okay. But they'll probably make the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a great chance. They have a great record right now. What are they? They're 8-3, correct?
8-3, yes.
8-3, but I mean, looking at their schedule, they got some hard games. They're playing the Steelers next. That's not a free game. They're playing the Cowboys after that, who's rolling.
Lions aren't having a bad season.
Lions are one of those teams that they have to get the win there. They're playing the Eagles again, like I said, 5-6 right now, but it's not a gimme. And the Redskins.
The Redskins.
Yeah.
So for all we know, they could lose every game here and have a bad rest of the year.
That's a good point, Maloney. That's a good point.
None of these games are a freebie. I don't really know if I see them making playoffs. I don't know if I see them not. It's a coin flip to me right now.
It'll be close. Okay, that's fair.
I have them losing the next 2 games, and then close wins against the Lions and Eagles, and then Redskins is a toss-up. In
Might come
Washington,
down to last week, huh?
It probably will.
All right, let's go to another division, the AFC North. Ravens, they're having a little resurgence, 6-5, as well as the Steelers, 6-5. You have to win the AFC North if you want to make the playoffs, because I still think the AFC West is going to have 3 teams in the playoffs. What do you guys, have you been watching the Ravens?
I've not been watching the Ravens as closely as I've been watching.
How about the Steelers?
As closely as I've been watching the Steelers, yeah. I mean, because they're one of the most fun teams to watch. They got 3 of the best players in the league. I mean, AFC North, it's always the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers beating the crap out of each other.
Right.
And then the Browns are just 2 free wins for all 3 teams.
The Browns. Yeah, it's war of attrition.
Yeah, if you're in the AFC North, you're guaranteed 2 wins a season.
Right.
Not the Browns.
Right.
I don't know. I'm looking at the Ravens stats, and they're a team that they're destroying teams if they win. It seems like, but if they're losing, it's marginal.
Ugly.
It's not. No.
Oh, not ugly, really?
The games they're losing, they lose by 5.
Oh, wow.
They lose by a touchdown. They lose by 3.
Keeping me honest on the Run Wild podcast.
Like, all their games are. I think if they could clutch out a second half and stay strong defense, like they lost to the Raiders by 1 point.
That's okay.
I mean,
On a last-second touchdown.
they beat the Jaguars by 2 points. They beat the Browns by 5. They beat the Bills by a touchdown. Every game to them seems close. But they finished with the Dolphins, who the Dolphins are rolling right now.
Right.
6-0 in the last 6. Then they play the Patriots. Then they play the Eagles, which toss-up. Then Steelers, which I don't see them winning. And the Bengals, which I don't see them winning. I don't think that they're going to the playoffs this year. I think the Steelers are going to take it from the AFC North.
Okay. The only thing for me is that they have quality wins against the Bengals and the Steelers, so tiebreaker, then the Ravens would go in. But I think this has got to be the tightest playoff race we've had in a while.
Yeah, probably.
Throughout all the divisions.
All the NFL, it's tough this year.
Right. The Dolphins, I think they have a great chance, like you said, of sneaking in, which is why I still think you have to win the AFC North, because it's either going to be AFC West or the Miami Dolphins that get those 2 wildcard spots. All right, let's move on to preview the upcoming games, starting with this Thursday's game, Cowboys versus the Vikings.
I mean, I got to go with the Cowboys, Gabe. Until they show me that they can't play, I'm going to keep picking them.
Oh, that's fair. Maloney?
I've got to agree 100%. We got a team that's on fire right now to a team that seems like they're on the way down.
Right.
So I definitely got to take the first.
They started off so well, too, the Vikings.
Injuries.
Injuries, yeah. Stephon Diggs gone. AP's been gone. Their defense is on the field too much.
Shows you how hard it is to win the NFL. Cowboys win it. Chiefs, Falcons.
Again, probably most favorite team in the NFL is watching the Falcons play.
Falcons.
Picking the Falcons.
You know, Gabe, I'm going to go a different route here. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. They're 7-0 in their last 7 games. There's not a chance I'm not picking a team
You're saying they're hot right now.
They're very hot right now.
Is this like your Browns their hot pick, or is this legit?
No, this is a game that they need to win. You know, they just beat Denver. They're in the same race with them. They can't have Denver win this week and them lose. They got a thing to play for this week.
I'm going to agree with you, Maloney. The Chiefs, they are doing well. I think their defense showed that they can show up. The Falcons' defense to be determined. I'm going to say first to 40 wins, though, but for now I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
It's how the usual Falcons games go.
Dolphins, Ravens.
This is a must-win for the Dolphins and the Ravens to even think about making the playoffs, but the Ravens' offense is just not there compared to their defense. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins.
I mean, Ant's right. Both these teams need to win. And I think it's going to come down to a quarterback situation. We got a younger kid against an older elite quarterback, or was elite. On his way down right now. But I think it's going to come down to pressure here. They both need to win to make playoffs. Is Tannehill calm enough to drive his team into the playoffs? And sadly, I don't think he is. And again, I'm saying it because I want to see the Bills go. We need to see the Dolphins lose this week. Okay.
I'm actually really looking forward to this game. I think it'll be a good game. This is tough. Definitely a coin flip. We're going to flip it right now. Oh, what do you know? Came up Dolphins, Eagles, Bengals.
I just don't like the way the Bengals are playing right now. And Eagles, they didn't look too good yesterday against the Packers, but I still think that they'll win.
For me, the Eagles' O-line is too beat up. That Bengals offense can't be in park all season long. I think the Bengals will win it. It won't mean much, though.
I'd have to agree with you, Gabe. Bengals are 0-3 in their last 3. They're home this weekend. I mean, you got to end the season on a high note. They're not doing well, so hopefully they can finish it off strong. I'm going with the Bengals here.
Right. Giants, Steelers.
Whew. This is a tough
game. This is going to be a good game.
It's a good week.
This is a very important game for
a Run Wild-worthy week.
Very important game for both these teams. It's in Pittsburgh. Giants defense doesn't look that bad as of late, but Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell will pose problems for them. The Steelers win.
Let's move on. Who are the players that are going to heat it up this week?
I got a question before I tell you my player game.
I have answers.
All right. The Bills play the Raiders this week, who is power ranked number 1 in the entire NFL.
The Raiders are?
Yes.
How?
I don't know.
You would think it'd be the Cowboys, but anyway.
You'd think. But who do you think's going to win that game? Honest opinion.
I think if you struggle at home against Jacksonville and all the problems the Bills are having, the Raiders are playing well right now. I think the Raiders will win it.
All right, so what would you say if I said that Shady is going to be my player to watch this week?
Oh, Shady has to be your player to watch if you're a Bills fan. He has to be.
Has to be.
There is no other way.
I'm going to say he gets north of 25 carries this week.
Yeah, he better.
And 2 touchdowns, and the Bills win.
Oh, Pelly, going out on a limb.
All right, Gabe, we're going to go a little different here this week with my picks. You know, usually I'm just taking the crazy picks, the no chance it's going to happen. But I picked the Chiefs over the Falcons.
Right.
The only way I see this happening is if my player to watch, cornerback Marcus Peters, Pro Bowl selection last year, the year before that, can somehow stop Julio Jones. That doesn't happen. The Falcons are going to take this one.
It won't happen.
I like that, Maloney. I do. My player to watch for, Colin Kaepernick is playing the Bears. Now, last week, they lost. He threw for 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and ran for 113 yards. If I were a fantasy player, I'd say you should probably consider picking him up. Is there anything that we should look for this week? Any surprises? We can just edit this part out. All right, cool. No, we won't put that in. All right,
Hang on, Gabe. I got something brewing. I got something brewing.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I'm good, Gabe.
I got one too.
God damn.
What do you got, Kurt? Just so we don't know the same thing.
Oh, trust me, we don't.
Okay.
All right, finally, to end the segment, what's our surprise, or what should we look for this week?
Personally, I'm not a big Jameis Winston fan, or basically anybody on the Bucs besides Mike Evans, just because he's on my fantasy team.
Okay.
But the Chargers' defense is really bad, so I'm looking for the Bucs to put up some big numbers.
Maloney, how about you?
You know, Gabe, I'm going to go a total different route here. I'm going to take the place of Travis Hicks.
College football.
College football. I'm really excited to see this Saturday Wisconsin at 10-2 play Penn State at 10-2. I'm really excited to see how this one's going to end. I think James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions are going to get the win over Wisconsin, so that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be Curtis Maloney's first college football game that he's watched all year.
I think it's a lot better than you think, Maloney.
I'm trying to see a lot of touchdowns. You know, I'm getting tired of only looking forward to
blocked field goals.
Well, that and I'm watching games of football and I'm trying to find the ones that are blowouts. I look forward to picking up any fantasy quarterback that's playing the Browns because I know I'm going to get a ton of points. So maybe I'm into this. I got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's the future. Your future fantasy season.
Maybe we should do college fantasy football, Kurt.
I'd draft
Oh boy. You'd get 400 points in some weeks. All right, for me, I'm looking forward to Colorado versus Washington. Washington wins, they might be back in the playoff picture. They lose, they're definitely out. But everyone thought they were out after that loss.
I've been watching college football the last couple weeks, Gabe. Who do you think's going to make the playoffs?
Alabama, definitely.
Oh, obviously.
Definitely. And then
it's a race.
It is a race.
If anyone's telling you for certain this team is making the playoffs, they're lying to you. No one knows.
Nobody?
No one knows.
What about Ohio State's got to be in?
What about John Gruden?
John Gruden?
I bet he knows.
John Gruden.
Guy knows everything.
John Gruden is very intelligent. He might know. That's the only man who I would trust in this situation, Maloney. Ohio State, though. See, the thing with Ohio State is, to me, it doesn't mean anything, but to the committee, it might mean something that they didn't make their the Big Ten championship game.
I mean, yeah, but they beat the number 3 team in the
country. I agree with you. 100%. I just don't know if the committee will.
But do you think any other teams are better at having a better chance of beating Alabama than Ohio State?
I think on a good day, OSU can stand with Alabama. So I want to see OSU make it in.
So you want to see them as the 2 seed, so they play them in the championship?
I wouldn't mind Alabama getting knocked out in the semifinals. I wouldn't mind.
But, as a non-college football watcher,
okay. You want the big guns going
I want the two best teams possible to be playing in the championship.
Okay, that's fair. And so then after that, you probably put in Clemson, and like I said, if Washington wins, I think you have to put in Washington. Who knows? I cannot wait. This is a great week of football. I cannot wait for this week of football. Guys, thanks for stopping by again.
Thank you, Gabe.
Join me in studio. It's Kirk Odie. Thanks for stopping by, Kirk.
Hey, nice to have me.
So you got to see LeBron in person. How impressive was he?
The king, dominance. He just does whatever he wants on the court. 6'8", freight train, leader out there, passer. He does it all.
Mm-hmm. What game did you go watch?
I see him play Kemba Walker in the Charlotte Hornets.
Walker?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Did they win that game? I forget.
Yes, they won.
They won.
Cleveland won.
What impressed you the most about LeBron?
How he really wasn't involved in the beginning, and then he ends up with close to a triple-double every night. It was 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and then maybe 25. And it's so quiet. So, So efficient.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me about LeBron every time. He always want to get his teammates involved that first quarter. It's like he's walking through the game, and then he'll turn it up, and he'll have career numbers.
Yeah.
How about in between plays? Is LeBron the player coach that we all see on TV?
Yeah, he's definitely, telling everybody where to go. He's letting the coach know what he sees on the floor. Players are telling him, like, help me out with this. He's just giving advice, and he's really directing the game, honestly. He really controls the tempo, the pace, every time he's touching the rock, on or off the court. Yeah.
And defensively, too?
Defensively, yeah, nobody's really, honestly, getting by LeBron. So,
Right.
6'8", he knows, he's quicker than everybody, he's faster, stronger than everybody. Yeah. Great defender, yeah.
Who else impressed you for the Cavs?
For the Cavs, I think Kevin Love, he had a great game that game. I feel like Kevin Love didn't really show much in the playoffs last year, but, he's off to a great start.
Right.
And I guess he's their torpedo out the gate. Like, he just gets buckets, rebounds, first quarter, second quarter, and then LeBron and Kyrie does the rest.
Yeah, what do you think explains that? Because last year we didn't see anything near what Kevin Love is. What do you think explains that?
I feel like both of them, Kyrie and LeBron, were just on them in the offseason, probably like, yeah, we need you more. Like, honestly, teams are getting better. There's super teams out there. Like, three of us need to put up the numbers that we're capable of doing. So they probably got in his ear, and they're probably giving it to him more trust in him. Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, exactly. It's working out.
Yeah. So you think they're going to win the East, right?
Yeah, easily.
Do you think they can beat the Warriors?
Yeah, I think they can. LeBron James, he can do whatever. I seen from last year, 3-1, yeah.
Kirk, here's my golden rule. If your team has LeBron James, you're probably going to win.
Yeah. Yes, honestly.
All right. Let's move on. You're a student here at Hilbert. What's your major?
Human services.
Human services. Human services?
Yeah, people person.
What's that like? I've met like 3 my whole time here at Hilbert.
I mean, it's a simple like major, but like, you have to be very understanding, and like people have a lot of opinions, ideas, and thoughts that sometimes really don't kind of like relate to what you're really used to, and you got to be very sensitive towards it. And like, basically my major comes with social work and dealing with kids, adults, the elderly, so it's a lot.
What do you hope to do after college?
I mean, other than being a professional basketball player, I mean, I would probably try to, work some camps, like get my own camp started. Like, I want to be like a basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like your human services side and your basketball side can work together.
Put together. I'm trying to go in the neighborhoods, get different kids, to, different parents to trust me with their children, teach them some skills. Yeah.
Well, also because a lot of skills that you learn in basketball, like you might not become a basketball player, you might not become a college basketball player, but it can translate to real world.
Exactly.
I think that's great. Good luck with that. What else do you do here at Hilbert?
Well, I'm doing my internship with Matt Hyde right now. Playing basketball on the basketball team.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that internship exactly?
Well, basically, I'm just helping him out with the website. He's communications. He's the head of communications. So basically, I go out in the Hilbert community, do some things for him, take some pictures maybe of events and like whatever's going on campus, and make sure I'm involved, help him out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's move on to my favorite topic, AMCC basketball,
Yes,
Kirk.
sir. Yes, sir.
So you guys came off a good win against Bradford. What are your goals for this season?
Win the championship. We've been there the last 2 years, came up short. We got to see some gold. Have to.
How do you think... So your goal is to make the championship. How will you meet this goal?
Well, everybody just has to buy in. Like, we have a system. Coach the Grand Prix, he has a system that we all have to follow. And if we not all 16, 17 guys aren't buying into the system, it's not going to work out. So, I feel like it's just going to have to be a team effort from the last guy on the bench to the first guy on the bench.
Right. You guys graduated a lot of important bodies last year, but you've had some guys fill in. Would you like to speak to that?
Derek Harmon, man. Sideline with an injury last year, stepping up big. Dave Arlaud, different minutes now. He's taking up a bigger role. We got Joe, toughness down low. A lot of bigs that have to step up. We graduate a lot of forwards, a lot of bigs, young bigs have to step up, and they're doing that.
I think also for you guys, Hunter, freshman out of Florida, he stepped in big.
That's a lot of courage out of a freshman, hustling, doing whatever it takes to keep us in the game.
Right. Could you tell us a little bit about what is the Grand Prix's philosophy? What's he telling you guys?
His philosophy is defense first. Like, basically, once our defense corrals a rebound, we're off to the races. We're offensive. Yeah,
Yeah, I see. Every time you guys get into push.
We're out of there. Yeah,
doesn't even matter if you've just done 3 wind sprints.
Exactly.
He still wants you to push it.
Exactly.
How about outside of basketball? Does the Grand Prix talk about anything else?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He has a student first mentality. And then being a good person outside of the basketball court. So he wants you to represent a Hillbrook Hawk the way he should be represented.
Right.
So, yeah, he basically talks about being a good person to the community, being a good person on and off the court. To your peers, teammates. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, hear me out. Is senioritis kicking in? For basketball, it's different. For sports, it's different because senioritis means, hey, time's ticking. I only got so much longer.
Yeah.
I better make the most out of this season.
Yeah.
I'll repeat. Is senioritis kicking in, Kirk?
Just a little. But, I got to make sure that I stay on top of my books, stay on top of the game, make sure I'm a leader out there on the court, make sure I'm a leader off the court. So that means I have to stay with the books. So
Okay.
yeah, that senioritis got to go. It got to go.
How about basketball senioritis?
Basketball senioritis? I mean, it's early. It's still early. I got a lot of games left.
Right.
So I feel like, I'm going to come around, though. I'm going to do what I got to do. I have a big role this year, so I feel like, senioritis, I can't really look towards that or look.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're taking it game by game.
Game by game, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Good luck this year, Kirk.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by. To finish off the pod, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm getting to the Christmas spirit. I like all the Christmas carols, a little eggnog. It's just a wonderful time of year. And to all the children out there listening to this pod, make sure that you're behaving and that you're being good for your parents, for Belschnickel is always watching. Belschnickel will make a list and see if you are being impish or admirable. Hope everyone's having a great holiday season. Again, you have been wasting your time listening to the podcast Running Wild. Thanks for listening.